much, girl, you walk the whole earth for. Put her on your back and just carry her attitude.
Period, not the water matching the shirt. Go ahead and sponsor me. It's giving alkaline. I'm sorry. Okay, I'm gonna be serious. Hold on. Alright. Hi, it's your girl Cash and welcome back to my YouTube channel. Today's video will be another story time. So y'all already know what story time this is. It's the spring break in Miami story time. And that's like, I'm not even ashamed to tell my story no more, because it seems like spring break in Miami, that just ruins everybody's friendship. So this was not my first year doing spring break in Miami. This was my second year. So boom, this is how it all came about. So I had a best friend that I had known since like my freshman year of high school. What are we gonna call her? We're gonna call her, can we call her Mila? I don't think I ever called anybody Mila. So me and Mila had been knowing each other for a long time. You know, when we was younger, we used to go down and like hang out in Miami for a night, but we had never truly like kicked it in Miami, because when we were finally of age and like had graduated high school and were starting to get freedom and stuff like that, her mom had to move like all the way to a different state because her mom had found a better paying job out there, and you know, she had to go where her mom was going. So like the whole time she was out there going to college, she was saying like, you know, she was having a good time in college, but she just really didn't feel like she was getting the full college experience, because me and her had always said it was going to be me and her going to school in Florida together, like having a full college experience. And at the time I felt where she was coming from, because I had did my first 2 years at the community college, and you know, if you went to Palm Beach State is a very good school, and if you want to be involved with your peers, you can. But at Palm Beach State, most of my classmates were older than me, and they were just coming back to get their degrees and things like that. And I was just kind of also trying to like get my footing as far as being an adult, because that was like my first few years at the foster care system, living on my own, buying a car and things like that. So I really didn't enjoy like my first few years of college either. So I told her like, you know, when you get back, I'm still going to be at school, because after I graduated from my community college, I went ahead to the Florida Atlantic University, and I was like, it's going to be me and you, we're going to have our college experience together, and we're going to turn up, you know, it's lit or whatever, right? So I think our first year going to spring break in Miami had to be like 2022. So 2022, it was just me and her. We went. I don't even know if y'all would get a story time about that one, because our first time going, it was a complete mess. We were unprepared. I ended up in the hospital because I was hurt. Every party that we went to, it had got shut down. We wasted so much money, but we still had fun. So we made it our business that we were going to go back for 2023. So fast forward 2023, it's getting around that point, we're getting ready for spring break. So originally 2023, she had already moved back to Florida. Her and her family had bought a house down here, and we were literally like living around the corner from each other. So we were originally like saying that we wanted to go, but we had met one of my friends in college, and I don't know what I'm gonna name her, because we gotta do so many other story times about this. She just plays a small part in this one. We're gonna call her OC, because OC was the only child. So originally, we were supposed to invite OC with us to go on spring break, and it was supposed to be like, you know, girls trip, lit, have fun, turn up. But OC was the only child, and the reason why her being the only child was important, OC did not know how to share the like spotlight. I feel like because me and Mila had sisters, we understood like how to coexist with women, and we understood that like one woman's beauty does not take away from our own. We're all beautiful, we're all amazing in our own way, and we don't have to compete with each other. But OC wasn't getting that. Like OC was one of those girls, very pretty, and she would have like a lot of men approach her, because she was also very known on campus, because she had did all 4 years at FAU, and she had did her freshman year she had stayed in the dorms. Hold on, y'all, I'm gonna close my door because my dog acting a fool. So it was like OC will always get a lot of attention, but then it's like every blue moon, if it was a guy that approached you and that didn't approach her, or her, OC and Mila were both attracted to the frat dudes, and that's how they got along so well, because they will always kind of be in the mix with the frat dudes. And if a frat dude happened to pay more attention to Mila rather than OC, it would just be the end of the world. And she had kind of did like a couple little things to piss me off, so she ended up getting uninvited. But that is a story time that I got to give y'all after this one. Somebody remind me to give this story time. Y'all will see why it's important towards the end. So when that fell through, you know, Mila kind of brought up to me. Mila was like, you know, a few of my friends from back home that I went to, well, not back home, but from the state she went to college in, they wanted to come down too. They said that they wanted to share B&B with us, but you know, they haven't like been saying much. I was like, oh, well, you know, might as well go ahead and put us all in the group chat together so we can all get to know each other and it's not weird. This was probably like a month or two. No, this was probably about a month and a half or 2 months before we were starting to like book our B&Bs and start our planning. So once we hit them up, it was like, you know, because everything, if you ever try to plan for spring break in Miami, you know everything gets sold out quick. So we hit them up and we like, hey, you know, like, what's up or whatever. They probably responded to that group chat twice in that whole month and they never said anything else. So maybe about 2 or 3 weeks before spring break, when me and Mila were ready to put our money down for the B&B and we thought it was just going to be us two, they ended up hitting us up and they were like, hey, you know, we want to go with you guys now. And basically Mila ended up giving me the rundown that they really weren't trying to go with us and like share like a B&B with us. They were really trying to go with their other friends from out there, but they ended up having like a whole group of girls and they had already paid for their B&B and stuff. And Mila's friends were too last minute, so they couldn't stay at the girls' B&B. So it was pretty much like, the way it was told to me is that they came down here, they really weren't coming down here to hang out with us. We were just going to be sharing the B&B. And Mila was like, you know what, forget it. They can come down here and do that. That makes the B&B cheaper for us. And you know, me and you always go out together and we have a good time. Because me and Mila, once we hit like 19, 20, and we was able to like really go out and get it to certain places, finally clubs, we used to go out and we used to have a ball. So they ended up hitting us up a few weeks before. And we was like, all right, you know what? That sounds like a bet. Like, we all putting our money on the B&B. We still had scheduled it. At this point, we still weren't talking too much. Maybe the last week before we were planning to go down to spring break, they were like kind of hitting us up and was like, hey, we should put some money down for jet skis. You know, the other girls from our state that's going, they're getting a yacht. So if y'all want to put some money down with them. And we were kind of just starting to come up with an itinerary. And it was, you know, kind of starting to look upwards or whatever. So, boom, fast forward to the day of first day of spring break. So Mila had already told me off the rip that one of her friends kind of had like a slight attitude, and she was like, you know, just, you'll have to get used to her, just give her time. Like, she don't be meaning no harm, it's just the way she talk. But nah, this hoe meant harm. What are we gonna call her? We gonna call her Crash Out, and then we're gonna call Mila's other friend, we're gonna call her Portia. So we end up going to the airport. I believe I was in the car when we went to the airport to get them. So me and Mila, we get up like kind of a little bit earlier in the day and we go pick them up from the airport. And the plan was we were going to go pick them up from the airport, go get lunch, and then we were going to head to the B&B, get cute, and go hit the strip. Because at this point, spring break had already been kicked off. I believe we went the second week of this time. So yeah, that was the plan. So we go pick them up from the airport, we meet everybody. Both of them are very pretty. We all get in the car, we're vibing. We end up going to Publix to go get some water, and then we end up heading to the restaurant. So I can't remember the name of this restaurant, but this restaurant was like kind of like on the water. I wish I would have vlogged it better. I had like a little TikTok vlog. I might include little snippets, but you know what, that's holding myself accountable, because from this point forward, every time I take a trip, it's going to be vlogged on this camera, or a better one, period. Once we get to the restaurant, everything's cool. Crash Out and Portia, they go ahead and place their orders. We all place our orders, and everything's going fine until like maybe after 5 to 15 minutes after we placed our orders, Crash Out started getting a little antsy, like, I'm hungry, I didn't eat anything before my flight, like, he needs to hurry up, whatever. But at the same time, y'all, like, it was a full house this day, because, you know, it's spring break, everybody's down here. And on top of that, like, we had just placed drink orders, so he had just bought our drink order out to us. So it's not like he had just, you know, got our order and never came back. He had bought us water and drinks at this time. So, you know, I'm peeping that, but I'm not really thinking too much of it. I'm like, you know, she's maybe just hungry because she got out of her flight, because I know how that could be. You jet lagged, you're hungry, you're ready to just eat and go hit the strip and drink. Because she was saying, like, you know, she was talking and she was like, you know, I got a boyfriend, but I'm, you know, I'm faithful to him, but I can still turn up. Like, I'm not boring just because I got no boyfriend. And Mila was like, yeah, trust me, like, she still go turn up with a boyfriend without a boyfriend. I'm like, okay, cool, man. I like girls like that. Like, you know, you're in a relationship, you respect your relationship, but you're still able to come out, turn up, and have a good time. So the waiter finally brings the food, and he's passing everybody food out. And I remember my order was like fish and something, because I always get seafood at every restaurant that I go to. And Mila had made a joke about it, like, because everybody knows my favorite food is seafood. Like, if we go to a restaurant and all they got is chicken pasta, I'm finna sub it for shrimp. So once they're sitting the plates down and I'm pulling, like, he's pushing my plate towards me, Crash Out is like, oh, that's my food. And I'm like, no, this is my food. Like, remember I ordered the fish, and she had ordered like some type of chicken sandwich or whatever the hell it was, but I knew that I had ordered something with fish. And she was like, oh, are you sure? And I'm like, yeah. And the waiter was like, yeah, here, this is the order. This is your order. He pushed it towards her. And she was like, oh, this is not what I wanted. Like, this is not what I asked for. And he was like, oh, well, you, like, I wrote it, like, because he didn't write it down. Actually, no, this is what he messed up at. He didn't write her order down. He just memorized it. But all of us at the table memorized it, and he had the right order for her. Maybe she just, that's not what she wanted when they got to the table and she seen it. But she started kind of, like, showing her ass a little bit. She was being rude. Like, I can understand being upset about your food, but she was being rude to this man, and the food was definitely what she ordered. So, at some point, she was like, you know what? Like, he can go. Like, I'm just gonna eat it or whatever. So she sits at the table and she's eating it, but she's literally complaining the whole time, like sucking her teeth, really throwing a little temper tantrum. So, you know, the rest of us, we're just trying to keep the peace. We're trying to have a good time on the trip. So we're like, oh, do you want some of this? Do you want some of this? And she's saying no to everybody, but I offer her some of mine, and she takes it. But even when she takes a little bit of mine, she's still complaining that, excuse me, one of the sauces on it is nasty and she doesn't like it. And granted, the food wasn't the best because it was like an unseasoned restaurant. That's what we're gonna call it, because I don't want to get in trouble today or offend nobody. So yeah, so I understood where she was coming from, but it was just like, you know, we don't have to be nasty and rude to our waiters. Like, I feel like a lot of people have not worked in the service industry before, so they don't know how, like, stressful it may be, and they don't understand that you could communicate with them with it not being in that tone. I just think that's, like, really not a cute way. Like, that's not a good first impression, I'm not gonna lie. Because if it was a man that I was on a date with and he was being rude to the waiters like that, he would have never seen me again. He probably should pray that I don't get up and say I'm going to the bathroom and dip out, because, like, that's just very much so not cute. I don't like that. Afterwards, we end up going to Publix. We're grabbing water because I hope Spring Break in Miami opens back up one year, because, you know, they're being kind of strict with it now. But if you ever go to Spring Break in Miami, make sure you buy a pack of water. The year prior, me and Mila had spent like $50 at the corner store just going getting multiple bottles of water from different places, because you will be dehydrated. It's hot, you drinking, you hungry, you're twerking, you're humping. You need to stay hydrated out there. We end up getting back to the B&B. We turning up, we drinking. Crash Out smoke. So me and Crash Out, we going outside, we smoking, and then we get dressed and we start to head to like this party that we had bought tickets for. So we head to the party, we're in line, everything is cool. We get in the party, y'all, we is turned up. So it's like, I wish I could like find one of the venues, or I remember the name of the venue, but Spring Break in Miami is like this really popular venue where they always had these parties there, and it'd be like, it's usually like concrete all around, but it'd be like a little stage for the DJ booth, and it'd be like this one little grass wooded area, and there's a pool as well. But we're all just turned up, we're dancing, we're lit. Mind you, y'all know me, I'm not no dancer, real street bitch. I be in the club, I've been a cheap keep. Like, if you ever see me dancing, just know that I'm real life tipsy and I'm really having a good time. But this first night, we were really having a good time. So we all turned up dancing, we had a ball. We ended up going back home that night. So the next morning we wake up and, you know, we're ready to go outside and have a ball again. So this day, I believe this is the day that we had decided that we were going to get on the yacht. So we had woke up super early. Everybody was kind of like, you know, getting their breakfast, getting like little things they needed from Dollar Tree. Because, you know, anytime you go on a girls trip, y'all always got to stop at Target or Dollar Tree because somebody had left something. So we woke up. The first place we went ended up being the liquor store. So when we get to the liquor store, we were all trying to decide on a bottle. And I'm like, you know what? This is my first time meeting them. They sound cool. I'm like, you know what? Forget it. They was going to get a bottle of whatever they were getting. And then we were all looking at this, like, it was a pink reposado. I think it was from Don Julio, but I'm not sure what brand it was. But we ended up getting that, and I was like, all right, this bottle's on me. And once I said that, I think that kind of like set the tone for the week, in which I gotta stop doing that, because sometimes I offer too much, because I'm a Leo. Y'all know my love language is shopping and spending money on people I love. So once I had established that I was buying a bottle, we had kind of all just decided that for the week, I would be the one ordering the Ubers, and everybody would just cash at me back, just so it wouldn't be no confusion about, oh, who's ordering the Ubers and who got to pay this time and that time. We just gonna do it like that. So I'm like, all right, bet, no problem, because I had saved up a lot of money this spring break, because the first time I went down there, I didn't save up enough. You need to save, because the Ubers are expensive, the food is expensive, the gratuity, everything, it gets a little bit higher. So after we leave the liquor store, we go to Dollar Tree because I needed some body oil, and then we go grab some food. We head back to the B&B. So we all started getting dressed, and I think we had called an Uber to, like, you know, the yacht place. So once we make it to the yacht place, we had stopped by Publix as well. We had grabbed some fruit and like chicken tenders and stuff like that, and some chaser fried drinks. So once we get on the yacht, we're all having a ball. I meet their college friends. All of their college friends are really nice. They're very pretty. We start heading like towards the front of the yacht, and we're all on the front of the yacht. They start dancing and stuff like that. So mind you, while we're on the yacht, we had bought some liquor. The other girls had bought liquor, and then somebody had bought like the little Seagrams, you know, the little Smirnoff thing. So we're all just drinking those like they're juice, because that's pretty much what they is. So, you know, we all just drinking them, and we're on the front of the yacht. So when I'm drinking mine, I start to like peep and look around, and I was vibing so well with their friends that I didn't even realize that Crash Out, Mila, and Portia, they were all like, I think they had went to the other side of the yacht and they were taking pictures and stuff like that. But I wasn't thinking too much of it, because I'm like the friend, I can really vibe and get along with anybody. So I'm not ever going to be too salty. Like if you leave me after you, like once you introduce me to your friends, if you leave me with them, it's cool, because usually 9 times out of 10 I'm going to start vibing with somebody and I'll be done made a friend. Like back in the day, the serial unalivers would have had a field day with me. On the front of the yacht, I'm vibing with the friends. So the other girls are dancing. The birthday girl, she comes sit down next to me and she's like, oh girl, why aren't you dancing? And I was like, girl, I'm about to get up in a second. Like, I don't want to waste my drink or whatever. So me and her, we're just sitting over there. We're getting to know each other and we're talking. And then I ended up like checking my notifications on TikTok, and I had hit like 50K around this time. So once I hit 50K, me and her were like, oh, like she's like, congratulations, girl, like turn up. So me and her, we get up, we start dancing for a minute. And by the time the other girls come back out to the front of the yacht, me and her, we done all sat down, because we was dancing and stuff, but the other girls were also wasting their drinks. So it was getting to the point where the front of the yacht was starting to get a little slippery. And if you ever been on like those spring break yachts, you know that the only thing holding between you and the water is a little rail. And look, I'm already taller than the rail. I was not trying to go over. So once they came back out, the first thing Crash Out says to me is like, oh, why aren't you dancing? And I was like, oh, girl, I just sat down for a minute, like I was checking my phone. But I think she's just asking me that, you know, just trying to make sure I'm still having a good time. Because, you know, sometimes you got to check in with your friends and see how the vibe is going, especially like when you mesh your friend groups. So we're all out there, we're having a good time on the front of the yacht. They're dancing and stuff, and at this point I'm dancing a little bit, but not that much, because I don't want to slip off the yacht. And also, you know me, I'm not really that much of a dancer. I don't have no rhythm. Like I'm the friend that, I'm the hype up friend. I come out for the vibes. Like sometimes I'll dance, but most of the time it's not gonna be twerking and throwing it back to every song. But also to mention, like they're Caribbean, so you also have to remember who I'm with. Caribbeans want to dance 24/7 on the gate, on the boat, on the yacht, on the dinghy. They just want to dance. So as we start winding down time on the yacht, we done started taking shots with the captain of the boat, everything, and the girls started talking about, like, you know, they're going out, because I think Lil Baby was performing at some club that night, and that's where they were planning to go. So they were asking us where we were going, and me and Mila were like, oh, we had already bought tickets for this party, because mind you, like I told y'all, they really wasn't trying to chop it up with us in the group chat too much. So me and Mila had already bought tickets for this party, and Portia and Crash Out were supposed to buy tickets as well, but they were like, you know what, like we might end up going to Lil Baby with them, which is fine, because like we told them, like, you know, y'all are grown, everybody can go where they want to go. Just make sure you check in at the end of the night and let us know that you're safe if you're going to be staying out all night. Sorry. So after we get off the yacht, it's still pretty early, so we go back to the docks and we just like see that we can walk to the Miami strip from there. So that's kind of what we do. So we start heading back to the strip, and while we're walking, we see these like two friends arguing. They look like they're probably like 19, 18, not even old enough to be out here, but they're crying, and it's like the one friend is crying really hard and the other friend's being mean to her. Like everybody's recording it, and just in my opinion, you can kind of see that like the other girl was being really nasty to her because they were recording it, and we all heard about like the spring break curse. So the girl's just crying and she's walking barefoot, and like I had ended up, like, she was walking towards me, so I just stopped her. I'm like, oh my God, are you okay? And she was just crying, so I put my hand on her shoulder and I was just rubbing her, and I was telling her, like, calm down. Like, you know, do you need somebody to order you an Uber? Because I didn't see her with a phone. She seemed like she was drunk, y'all, and this girl looked so young. So while I'm talking to her, I kind of happened to look back. Mind you, nobody stopped walking for me, but Crash Out is looking at me like she is just oh so disgusted, and I'm like, what the fuck? So I end up talking to the girl a little bit longer, but this dude comes up and he's like, I know where I got her, like, this is my friend, she'll be okay. Like, they just got into a little argument, whatever. So I end up walking away, and once I get back over there, I hear Mila kind of telling her, like, you know, she's really friendly, that like she's like Captain Save-A-Ho, because that was like an insider between me and Mila. Like, anytime I see somebody going through a hard time, I always want to help them, whether it's a stranger or somebody that we know, whatever. But I was just like, you know, I didn't think too much of it, because I'm like, you know, it's just a little jokey joke, her calling me Captain Save-A-Ho. It's not that serious. But something about Crash Out, she looked like she was so aggravated with me for stopping to talk to that girl. But it was like, if you were young as hell walking around Spring Break by yourself barefoot, you would want somebody to check on you too, right? But, you know, I think Crash Out was just looking for a reason to have an issue with me, because she probably thought she had that dog in her, but bitch, I'm a gorilla in the skirt. You run up on me playing. Mila obviously have not told you who I am. I will ruin your spring break, but I'm proud of myself that I didn't dog her out, because she couldn't stick with me anyway, but we'll get to that later on. So, so after we make it onto the strip, like we're all walking and things like that, they're like talking to dudes, they're dancing and stuff, and you know, everything's going cool. So I'm talking to dudes too, but I'm starting to peep that Crash Out and Portia, they're a little bit more bold than us. Like me and Mila, like, you know, we just are very pretty girls. So I'm not saying, like, I feel like, okay, me and Mila, we're not the type of girls that's gonna go up and approach dudes first. Like Mila didn't start being on that type of time till we got to college. Like usually we would just be cute, like wait for dudes to approach us. If they talk to us, they talk to us. If they don't, they don't. Like no hard feelings, whatever. Or like if they stand next to us and we kind of like bumping into each other, we'll just start a conversation. But Portia and Crash Out is like walking up to dudes, like rubbing on their stomach. Hey daddy, like, oh, I'm going home with the noobs. Oh, I'm with the noobs. Da 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 da. Like they talk to the Qs. They doing their thing. Mind you, they had already said like all of them were really into frat boys, and they had already been talking about like which frat they was going after this week, and they were talking like, girl, what frat you like? But y'all know, I'm not gonna lie. I think I only talked to one frat man in college, but honestly, I only ended up dating like 2 boys in college. Like I just wasn't. I don't know. It took me a while to get on the whole frat wave. Even now that I've graduated, I still don't understand it. Like, so I was like, whatever. But also at this time, I had started talking to like one of my exes. This is before me and him got serious, but we had linked a few times, and I was like, you know, I was feeling him. So when I was on spring break, I really, even if I wasn't talking to him, I wouldn't be planning on doing anything. But especially because me and him were kind of starting to like each other, I wasn't planning on, like, you know, doing a nasty with nobody, which should have been cool because Crash Out got a man. But once we get on the beach, Crash Out man just went out of her head because she's rubbing on dude's stomach, saying, hey daddy, trying to figure out who she going home with tonight. But at the same time, in my head, I'm looking, but I ain't really saying nothing because you never know what's going on in nobody's relationship. He could be back home doing the same thing. So who am I to judge her? You know? I don't got nothing to say. We were on the beach. They were talking to dudes and stuff like that. And usually when that happens, like, I'll step off to the side and let them talk to the dudes. They're dancing on boys. And some of the dudes, you know, like frat men, they're running packs. So while they're over there dancing with the frat men, like, their homeboys will come over there. Like, we'll talk for a while and it'll be cool. But it'll be, like, real surface level conversation. Because I feel like spring break in Miami, it's kind of like you walk up and you trying to get down or what. And I think dudes can really tell I wasn't on that type of time. So it's like we were talking, but even the ones I did talk to, it was kind of surface level because one of the boys tried to kiss me in my mouth and I was fucking traumatized. So while all of them are over there like dancing on the Qs or whatever, the Qs had actually started fighting and it was like a big old brawl. So we're all looking, bitch. Me and Portia started holding each other's hands and we started running. And I'm not gonna lie, after a while I really started to take to Portia because Portia was funny. Like, she was just a cute little pretty petite girl. She was confident within herself and I loved her personality. So me and Portia just ended up taking to each other a little bit. So me and Portia had ran away from the brawl that they were having, and while we was running away, like 2 dudes was like, oh, like, bitch, we got y'all, we'll save y'all, like, y'all don't have to run. So she's over there talking to him and the other one's talking to me and he's just like, you're so beautiful, like, whatever. And I'm talking to him like, oh, thank you, whatever. So we end up exchanging Instagrams, y'all. Why he like he's like, can I get a hug before you go, like, just in case I don't see you again? And I was like, okay. So I like leaned in to give him a hug. He kissed me right in my mouth. I said, oh. Mind you, I'm not, like, he was lucky he was cute, but I'm like, kissing me in my mouth without consent, I don't know, bitch. Think I'm comfortable eating here, like, I ain't really with the kissing on the mouth. That's a privilege, babe, but I was like, whatever. But all of this was going on, like, Mila ended up running into a dude that she had met last spring break. So the spring break prior, like, I really wasn't, I still wasn't really humping that much. I don't know why. I think I'm one of the people, like, I'm not no angel or nothing like that, but I'm really hesitant to do anything on spring break, especially in Miami, because if you know Florida STD panels, baby, you know why you would be a little hesitant to do anything with anybody out here. Especially because I done been around my homeboys on spring break, and I done seen how they kind of keep, like, a revolving door. So that's just, like, you know, not really my stilo for real. So she had met him last time and she had already linked with him. They were talking and stuff, and I guess they had lost touch and she didn't know that he was there. So once we see him, we were on the beach late night and like the sun had started going down and stuff. So once they had met up with each other, like, he was like, oh my god, like, I missed you, all that. And we all drunk on the beach. So they start kissing. Me and the girls, we start pretending to be bridesmaids. And we're like, oh, they're getting married. Because it's like, it's meant to be. Because if y'all have not seen each other since last spring break and y'all randomly run into each other on the beach, like, That is fake. So they're kissing and all that. We're just playing bridesmaid. Portia ends up taking to like one of the boys' friends, and they like end up getting cool. They start talking a little bit, and you know they had went home with Mila and Portia. Have ended up going home with those boys that night, and I'm not sure. Probably refresh my memory. I think that Crash Out had ended up going home with one of their homeboys too. So that night I had ended up going home like by myself. It was no problems or whatever. So the next morning I wake up, they end up coming in probably about like 10 o'clock, 11 o'clock, which is no problem because I knew they were going to come back eventually because we had a jet ski appointment, and I was on the phone with my little boo all morning walking around like getting my stuff together. So when they got back, I was already dressed or whatever, just smoking, chilling around the house, just waiting for them to get dressed too so we can head out to the jet skis. So they get back, they get dressed and stuff. They telling me that they had a good night last night. I'm like, all right, bet, that's good. So we make it to the jet skis, we give them our money, everything like that. So originally all of us had paid for our own jet skis. We had did the instruction and everything. So Mila, Crash Out, and Portia, they get on their jet skis first. So when it's my turn to get on my jet ski, he's like, oh, I'm so sorry, like your jet ski isn't working. Like he had opened it up in the back and the jet ski was like full of water where like the electrical part was. So he was like, you know, you can get on with one of your friends, or you could just wait for me to like, wait for them to bring me another jet ski. Because at this point, we're out kind of like docked in like the middle of the water where, you know, they wait for us to calm point. We drive the jet skis over there. So when he had said something about me like, riding a jet ski with one of the friends, like Portia automatically was like, yeah girl, hop on with me, which was no problem. But I just kind of peeped, like I thought that Mila would be the first one to offer me a jet ski because I'm your friend, like me and you, because you know how that is, like I just thought that she would offer it to me first because we knew each other, like we could get on together. But when he had said that, she kind of had turned her head the other way and like kind of got ready to like start riding off on her jet ski. I'm like, okay, whatever, cool. So I was like, no, actually, and the instructor was like, actually, you can get on my jet ski with me while we take videos and stuff like that. And I'm like, okay, cool. So because we had all paid a little bit of extra money so they can get videos of us on the jet ski. Like if you ever paid attention to my intro, that first video of me on the jet ski, that was this spring break. So I ended up getting on the jet ski with him, and y'all, I'm having a ball because he's doing tricks, because he got the GoPro, he's telling them to do tricks. So we're all just having a vibe. Like I'm on the back of his jet ski, I'm holding on to him like he's my man because y'all know I love me a Spanish poppy. It's the Florida in me, and we're all having a ball. So eventually, he's like, all right, you get off. Like, he's like, you get off with me. You switch with one of the girls, and I'm going to record you. So everybody's taking turns, like, riding a jet ski with him. We're all recording each other, and we're having a ball. Like, we're just having, like, so much fucking fun. And I'm like, wow, like, this is cool. So after we do that, we get off the jet skis. We all head back to the house, and there's still no tension. We start getting dressed, and we get dressed and head out for, I think we were doing lunch at this point. So, yes, we were doing lunch. So at this point, we head out for lunch, and I'm not sure. I think we were trying to do lunch at Bacon Bitch. Worst decision ever. Like, I don't know what it is, but a Bacon Bitch in any city during the, like, festive time of year. So say if it's like, it's if it's the classics, or if it's like Super Bowl time or something like that, don't even bother trying to go to a Bacon Bitch anywhere because you're not going to be able to get in. They have the worst scheduling I have ever seen in my life. I don't know if it's just because it's that popular, but I have been to Bacon Bitch like 3 times and never got a chance to sit down. So once we get to Bacon Bitch, they're taking a while. Mind you, like when we came out, we kind of had packed like liquor with us. So all of us had like our purses and stuff, because I think after lunch we were supposed to head like to the strip again, but we all had like a bottle of liquor. So I think that at this time I had went back out and I had bought like a bottle of some type of tequila, and we had like a bottle of Hennessy or whatever. So we ended up finishing the Hennessy while we were on our way waiting on Bacon Bitch. But at some point we decided that we weren't going to wait on Bacon Bitch anymore, and we were going to go to a different restaurant. So we get to a different restaurant. Mind you, the bottle of tequila that I had, I think it was Casamigos. All of us had been taking shots and stuff like that off the Casamigos, but it had got to the point where we were waiting at Bacon Bitch so long, it's like, all right, now we drunk and tired and hungry. Like, this ain't fun no more. So we finally get into the next restaurant. We're sitting down, we're eating and things like that. Now, mind you, this whole day, we all been passing the bottle around, but at some point, I guess Mila ended up getting a bottle, and she had been holding it too long. So, okay, just for context, with me and my friends, we always talk to each other like super sweet, super like loving, especially me and Mila, because like we would talk down on bitches who like talk crazy to their friends and fall out over spring break in Miami, because spring break in Miami is cheap. What is you hoes ruining y'all friendships for? But Mila, mind you, Mila had always been very soft-spoken, very sweet. Mila turned to me like I had did something to her and was like, look, are you finna carry this bottle? Because I'm tired of carrying it. It's heavy. I don't want to carry it no more. Like, so you finna finish it or what? I'm like, okay. I was like, I'll take the bottle. My bad, I didn't know you had it. Because at this point, I'm trying to be understanding because I'm like, maybe you're just aggravated because, you know, we were sitting at Bacon Bitch waiting a while. We did have to walk more. Like, it was high. And at this point, I was a little bit aggravated, too, because I had wore some new sandals, and they were, like, jelly sandals. They were digging into my feet. So, bitch, we all aggravated. So, I just took the bottle from him, like, yeah, no problem. So, I just ended up pouring the rest of the bottle in my drink, and I just threw it out. So, after we ended up getting done with dinner, the restaurant that we were at were right across from the strip. So we ended up walking like across to the strip and we get on the beach. So at this point, we're on the beach, like we're ready to dance, we're ready to vibe, stuff like that. So the beach is packed this night. This night, I don't know, it was like a whole bunch of like celebrities, nice cars on the strip. The boys is holding up traffic, they got the police coming out, we just having a ball. So when we walking on to the beach or whatever, some boy walked past us and I just assumed that he had to be young because he was so disrespectful, but also just, I understood people was drunk, but it was just a lot going on. This boy walked up to us and said, oh, who's sucking tonight? Mind you, if you know me, certified crash out, hothead. When he said that, I had looked at him, but something told me like, bro, don't say nothing to this man. Keep on walking because you don't want to be the friend that ruined Springbreak. But I just like that was so disrespectful. So when he said it, I kind of just had gave him like the side eye, and I just kept on walking. Do y'all know? Fucking Crash Out stopped and talked to this man while he was saying it, and then the rest of them kind of were like waiting on Crash Out or whatever, so they was letting her talk to him. But I was just like, whatever, and I had kept on walking a little bit, and I went to stand off to the side.